Hey y'all, it's Diddy. Yo, back in 2002 when that Diplomatic Immunity came out, man, throughout the album you hear Juelz Santana talking about his solo album and talking about how he had just finished it. Well, it was finished in August 2003, it released, and it got kind of subpar reactions to it. But never fear, we're gonna fix Juelz Santana from me to you right here, right now. The same rules apply from the Diplomatic Immunity album. I'm only able to pull records from the Diplomatic Volume 1 through 5 mixtapes, as well as take off songs from this album. So, let's get started. Alright y'all, let's start off with the original track list, man. The tricky part about this album is there's a lot of things wrong with it. The main thing in my opinion is I felt like Juelz Santana dropped the ball on a lot of verses on a lot of songs. So to me, the cheap way out would just be like, change verse 2 on this, change verse 1 on this, change the third verse on this. Normally Juelz will open with a solid verse on pretty much every record, and then as it went on further into the song, that's usually when things seem to get lazy. It doesn't necessarily flow, it does come off as personal, which can be a good thing, but it just doesn't feel like a Juelz Santana album, and the second album didn't really fare too much better. This album has a little bit of a spark that we might be able to turn into something palatable. I'm a little biased when it comes to this album. I listened to it every day after it came out. I felt like it was a little bit better than a lot of people said it was, but I'm no idiot. I can clearly tell where there's mistakes made. One of the bright spots is definitely the instrumentals, man. The heat makers were on it. He also got a couple beats from a couple other people, and it really set a good tone for what sonically the album should sound like. We got a couple guest features, not too many, but we probably could have used a couple more, but we're not going to turn this into a feature heavy album. We wanted to mainly focus on Juelz Santana as originally intended. So let's cut this thing down from 20 songs. Let's talk about the songs we're removing. As usual, we're removing the skits. We got rid of OK OK, which sucks to do. I love this record. The instrumental is crazy, but come on, we gotta be real. Some of the verses are lazy. Alright, some of the songs I remove actually kind of hurt to remove. I actually love Jealousy, My Problem. It's actually a real intimate song. Monster music sounds crazy, the beat is crazy. That third verse is just super sloppy and super weak. Now what, T.I. did what he did, but I felt like Juelz didn't really hold up his end of the bargain as far as keeping up and making the song equally as good. My Love featuring Freeway, wasn't really a fan of the record. Down is cool in its own way, but it just doesn't fit the rest of the album for what I was trying to do with it from this point on. So those songs kind of hurt. I like listening to them every time they come on, but come on, man. It's tough to fix this album, y'all, without specifically saying which verse needs to go. Let's go ahead and look at the final remaining songs that we got and a couple that we added. Alright y'all, we're left with 13 records, man, and the ones that we brought over More Than Music from Diplomatic Immunity, we brought over Juelz Santana the Great from Diplomatic Immunity, and we also brought over You're Gonna Love Me from DV4, man, Diplomatic Volume 4. That's one of my favorite Juelz Santana records. I don't see how it wasn't on the album. Must have been a sample clearance issue, but in order to fix it, we're gonna throw that joint right up on there. And as you see, we kept The Champ Is Here, One Day I Smile, Why, Wherever I Go, the Dipset, Santana Town. Those records just had to stay. But let's try to figure out a way we can organize this in the way that it plays through and it's cohesive and it sounds good. As you can see, we pretty much opened the album pretty much the same way it opened up originally, with The Champ Is Here and One Day I Smile. Both staples, both great ways to get this thing moving. I felt like it was set up correctly originally, so we're not gonna really mess with that. But afterwards, we're going straight into the Dipset Santana Town, getting right to it. This puts a little bit more of an intensity on the album earlier on, and then we're gonna follow that up with More Than Music from the Diplomatic Immunity album. That keeps it in that upper vein, that intensity. This is one of these dope Santana records that we pulled off of Diplomatic Immunity for having too many solo songs from Santana. We're gonna follow that up with Back Again and then How I Feel. Now this kind of slows it down just a little bit, gives us a nice little mellow-tone vibe, and then How I Feel is more like a skit than an actual song. And right from there, we're going right into You're Gonna Love Me. I feel like that's just gonna fit perfectly. As soon as you hear it, place like that, trust me, you're gonna feel the intensity, the energy changes. It's a great change up. Right after You're Gonna Love Me, we're gonna go with Why. I really want to say change that third verse. How about we just say this? How about we throw a guest appearance on there? We're gonna throw Lil Wayne right there, yo. How about that? Lil Wayne, Can't Feel My Face, the long-awaited project that never came out. What other way to do this than have Lil Wayne featured on the album? So we going to do Why featuring Lil Wayne in that third verse and just rip Santana's third verse off of there. Juelz Santana the Great follows that up with another joint we pulled from Diplomatic Community, followed by Let's Go, which is the full version of the song that's not part of Diplomatic Community. And then we're gonna kind of mellow the rest of the album out. So we got Wherever I Go and Squele. Those songs kind of give you a nice little playful vibe. Squele's got this amazing beat that was sampled a couple times around that time period, but it still fits and sounds crazy. And then we're gonna put Raindrops at the end of the album. It just feels like one of those end of the album joints, especially with the doo-wops that we got going on this record. We're gonna add an album right there, Raindrops. So what do you guys think, man? Juelz Santana, From Me to You, sound better? Yeah, I don't think this pushes it to some elite tier of an album or anything like that, because this album needs a lot of help, but this is the best we can do. If you think you can do better, man, put it down in the comments down below, man. Put your playlist down, pull what songs you pull from Diplomatic Volumes. I mean, it's only so many you can pull. This has Juelz by itself on there, but let me see what you do with it, man. See how you guys flip it. Put down in the comments down below how you guys feel about it. Make sure you check back next week so you can see how we're gonna fix Cameron Purple Haze. And also, man, tell us which albums you think should be fixed next, man. Thank you guys for watching, man. Hit that like, subscribe button. We love you guys. Peace.